Yesterday's dreams of electric-powered air taxis and flying cars are turning into real urban air mobility projects. This is the Future of Air Transportation, a podcast from the experts at TE Connectivity. Join us as we turn dreams of the future into reality. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Today, I am your host, Tyler Kern, and we're thrilled you've joined us for this episode of the show. Now, I think if we're being honest, we've all imagined a future with flying cars. Perhaps maybe not like the Jetsons or something like that, but something that moves us around our cities through the air, right? But this future is closer to becoming a reality than maybe many people would think. And joining me today to talk about that, plus the role that TE Connectivity is playing in making this happen, is Martin Cullen. He's a Senior Manager of Business Development at TE Connectivity. Martin, thanks so much for joining me.
Hey, Tyler, how you doing?
I am doing well. How are you today?
I am good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you on, and I'm really excited to dive into this topic because it does sound like an exciting, futuristic thing we're discussing. But as we're going to discuss, maybe these things aren't as far away as many people would assume. But Martin, I want to start off just by getting a little bit of your background and your experience, and hearing a little bit more about how that's prepared you to work in this new and exciting domain.
Yeah, sure, of course. So now, I've always had this desire and passion for everything aerospace. I started young, making aircraft models, remote control gliders, and just a few years ago, I qualified with a private pilot's license. And I've done that professionally as an aerospace engineer. I've worked for the past 20 years in major aerospace tier one suppliers on gas turbines, on cockpit displays, through the whole innovative development of engineering projects, from design, manufacture, working with customers with a flight test evaluation. So it's kind of through and through everything I've always done. So me in aerospace are truly one, and working with the eVTOL is a new drive within aerospace. It's bold, it's exciting, and it's going to be amazing for us, and all the technology there with electrical connectivity. It's very exciting times.
It is incredibly exciting times, and especially for someone with your interests and your passion for all things aircraft and flight. I think this is right in your wheelhouse, and an especially exciting time for you. So, Martin, give me a little bit of an idea of what the future of mobility will look like, and how TE Connectivity can fit into that environment.
Yeah, sure. So transportation and urban mobility, as we know it today, is undergoing a revolution of how we get around cities, how we go between cities. We're going to see a completely different way of going about that. And eVTOL is urban air mobility is one of those step changes in aerospace that's going to change our very way of life. We've had gas turbines, we've had the space race, jumbo jets, Concorde. And eVTOL really is another door to different capabilities and a different way of life for us. If you imagine you're going to be using your phone to book a trip from downtown or a city center to an airport or to your place of work 40 or 50 miles away, it's going to be like taking a cab ride. You're going to go to a taxi rank or a vertiport and get in your ride. And you're going to take this flight, zero source emissions, using batteries or a hydrogen fuel cell. And we're going to be seeing a completely different way of how we get around. It's here. It's just around the corner. We're going to be seeing events at the Paris Olympics in 2024. There's going to be an infrastructure of aircraft, of services. In 2028 at those Olympics, we're going to see a growth in it again. And you're going to see the first flights probably at the end of this year for the public to get involved with, definitely next year, and a regular service in 2024. So it's just around the corner. So for TE, all these aircraft are going to use advanced electric propulsion, motors, electric power distribution, positioning systems, telenetworking, the cockpit, the mission systems, and this is where TE can come in. TE has design and development of the complete component solutions for high power, high voltage, high bandwidth, all the interconnect technologies for eVTOLs. So in simple terms, these are the wires, the cables, the harnesses, the sensors, the relays, everything around the electrical system and the technologies that we use in aerospace today and for the future to come.
That's an incredible explanation, and you could see really easily how TE fits into this picture. But give me an idea of TE's historical background and how that helps TE to address customers' future air mobility projects.
Yeah, so TE is one of those companies you may never have heard of, but we're 80,000 people strong across the globe. We've got specialists in research and development, engineering, and manufacture of everything electrical. And electrical products that we use in everyday vehicles around the world. Now we've produced nearly 200 billion components last year alone across all our divisions. So we have a really strong heritage in automotive and aerospace and energy sectors. Now we work with the standards, the industry standards of like the SAE and ARINC committees. And this goes back a long way. We've had 80 years of history in aerospace. If you've flown in an aircraft, if you've ever driven in a car, you will have used a TE product in there somewhere. So we have this really strong history and really strong heritage within everything that is today, but also tomorrow, because we're leading the way with electric cars, electric trucks, and now, of course, electric aircraft as well. So we're just kind of broadening our horizons with everything that is power distribution products from today's electric cars, today's aircraft, and tomorrow's aircraft as well.
So Martin, what can TE offer OEMs and other customers? Kind of walk me through some of the details there.
Sure. So TE has this really broad portfolio of electrical products. We have a strong, broad range of interconnect technologies that handle kind of low voltage, high bandwidth, in-flight entertainment, connectivity, control applications. And the products we produce for that include specifically lightweight aluminium cables to Spec 80 and Spec 55, lightweight connectors, all capable of high voltage. We also do contactors with the kilowatt range, and these are aerospace grade relays and contactors, very high performing. They are lightweight. They are rated up to 1,000 amps and 1,000 volts DC. And of course, we do power distribution units as well.
So given TE's long history of working in these different areas and being involved with so many products and projects and creating connectivity across a number of different industries, I'm assuming TE has come up against and helped solve and overcome a number of challenges. So what are some of the challenges posed by these new vehicles in terms of component needs and things like that?
Sure. So we pride ourselves in innovation. Now, we work really hard with our customers to develop new technologies, optimized to their specific needs. Now, we have this saying of following the wire. So we're there to help collaborate with our customers and create new products. Things that haven't even been thought of yet are going to be appearing in this new domain of UAM and eVTOL. So the challenges we're going to see, particularly as every OEM out there wants to be the first. They want to be the first one to have that first passenger on their aircraft, to take that first flight. And to get there, these aircraft have a lot of challenges that we don't see in normal commercial aircraft. Relatively speaking, these aircraft are smaller. They're more sensitive to weight limits, and they have to pack in a lot more electrical equipment. After all, these are electric aircraft. So we need to have components that are small, highly flexible, lightweight, reliable, and also are capable of a harsh environment that aerospace demands. So to do that, we have strong standards already mentioned with aerospace, but also we have to consider the future of having components that are affordable as well, similar to the automotive range of products that we do. So there's this real blend now of we're having to come across the traditional aerospace grade of components at the same time having the affordability of automotive. And that's the challenge. There's a lot of unknown here. It's a new domain, a new market that's evolving. So we've got to think differently as an industry, as a segment, and TE's there with our innovation, with our expertise in electrical components, to meet all these greater demands that we're going to have in eVTOL.
You obviously have a lot of experience in this area, Martin, and have shared a lot of the expertise that goes into what's going to make these projects work and be successful in the long run. I wonder, when's the ideal time for somebody to bring in someone like yourself or a company like TE to provide their expertise on the components for these vehicles? Is it early on in the process? Would you prefer to partner and be a part of that process from the get-go? Or is it later on in the project? What's the ideal timeline?
So ideally, any engineer will know that the sooner you start solving a problem, the easier it is. The best time to engage with TE, with our designers, our expertise, is right from the start, right from the get-go, because we can help guide our customers. We can help guide the OEMs on how to do certain routing, what types of technology to use, how we can optimize, and how we can integrate their structures, their systems with our components and our subsystems. So really, it's good time is right from day one.
That's a really good, I think, word of wisdom for people. Just bringing in TE and experts like yourself early in the process from day one, I think eliminates headaches probably down the road because you're able to bring in all of these considerations right off the bat. So Martin, if someone is listening and they would like to get more information regarding the solutions that TE presents related to UAM and electrified flight system needs, how can they get in touch and how can they find more information?
Sure, yeah, that'd be great, because I'm leading TE's aerospace push for eVTOL. I'm working with customers. I'm working with their engineering groups internally, and I'd love to hear from aircraft designers, manufacturers, whether they're the battery or fuel cell engineers, anyone who's got a spark for eVTOL. So please get in contact with me at te.com. We have a landing page on our website for UAM, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You'll find me on LinkedIn really easily. And yeah, I look forward to hearing you soon.
Martin, before we wrap up our conversation today, is there anything that we've missed that you want to make sure that we touch on in this area? Or do you have any maybe summary statements or conclusions you'd like to make just before we wrap up this episode today?
Sure. So we are at a point in aerospace where we haven't seen this level of greenfield or innovation and nascent growth of engineering. And we're here. TE is going to be here for our customers. We have the right products, we have the right personnel, and we're open to discuss and we're open to collaborate, because together, eVTOL is ours.
The future is exciting and it's quite bright, and TE is playing a huge role in that. Martin Cullen, Senior Manager of Business Development at TE Connectivity. Martin, thank you so much for joining me today here on the podcast and sharing a little bit more about this exciting present, the exciting future that is to come, and everything TE is doing as a result.
That's great, Tyler. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you again for joining us here on the show today, Martin, and thank you everyone for listening along to this episode. Remember, you can reach out to Martin, get in touch on LinkedIn, visit TE's website as well, and if you want to know more about what TE is doing in the world of urban air mobility, I have a URL for you if you are ready. It's www.te.com/urban-air-mobility. That's te.com/urban-air-mobility for more information on everything TE is doing in the world of urban air mobility. It's an exciting time, so make sure you bring TE into that process as well and get expertise from people like Martin. And of course, stay tuned for more episodes of the podcast. We will be back soon with more thought leadership, more expertise in this area. But until then, I've been your host today, Tyler Kern. Thanks so much for listening.